Hi, in this lesson we're going to talk about removing a background from an image. I have this picture of a rose, and what I'd like to do is remove everything but the rose, remove all of the background of this image. Now to do that, we have to of course start by selecting our picture and coming up to the Picture Format Contextual tab. Once I have that ribbon open, you'll see we have the Adjust section, and to the left I have a Remove Background button. When I click there, you'll notice that we get a purple color over most of the picture, all of the background. The only thing that's not covered with this purple area is the rose itself. And that's exactly what we wanted. Now, I'll be honest, this picture was very easy for Word to decide what I wanted to keep because there was such a contrast between the picture of the rose and its background. So we have just what we want here. And we're going to come up to our background removal ribbon and choose Keep Changes. And once we do, it deletes all of the background of the image, and all I have left is my rose. Exactly what we wanted. Now, it's not always going to be that easy, and we have another example. If we want to go back to where we were before, if we want the background back, we select the image and choose a Reset Picture, and it's back. Now, let's go ahead and let's go to another picture. And I know this one seems very high contrast as well, but it's not going to be quite as easy. If I select the image, go to Picture Format, and choose Remove Background, notice that it covered this fourth rose up entirely. It also covered up the bottom part of this rose, and a little bit of the upper right of the rose over here, and a little bit right here. So we want to fix that. We would like to keep this rose on the left and some of the other areas of this picture. So we're going to go up to our background removal ribbon, and you see here in the Refine section, we have two options: mark areas to keep, mark areas to remove. We're going to mark areas to keep because those are the parts of the picture that we want to keep, and we want to remove everything else. So we're going to select that. And when I move my mouse over to the picture, you'll notice it looks now like a pencil. So I'm going to click on that rose, and it was able to identify the entire rose. But we can also go ahead and select smaller areas. We're going to start up here in the upper right. It's cutting off a little bit of this leaf. So I'm going to click there. And it just got a little bit there. So we'll click in another spot. See that? Now, and there's still a little bit more there. I've got that entire part of the rose. And we're going to have the same issue here. We'll have to do a little bit in here. Yeah. And now if we come down to the bottom, we can do this area. And I think that's just about everything. There's just one more thing right here. This little bit here I want, and I have to do a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. Now, let's say I accidentally clicked up here. Ooh, it's just giving me a tiny little green dot. Let's go ahead and let's click and drag to draw around that leaf. And you see that it selected that area that I drew around. And I can keep going and doing a little bit more over here. And if I want to not keep this part, I can go back to Mark Areas to Remove. And again, I can kind of draw in that area. In fact, let's just draw around the whole area there and see if it doesn't. It takes a little bit of work. And like I said, that first picture is almost perfect. This one is not. There's a little more work we have to do. There, and I think we've got it. So now we'll go ahead and we'll keep our changes. And we have our rose. And there's some areas up here that we missed, but we can always go ahead and reset the picture and do it again. So now you know how to remove the background from an image. That's it for this lesson. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.